So hey guys, my name is Siddhant and welcome back to a new video. आज के वीडियो में बात करेंगे about the latest news, the latest update that we have received regarding the new CEO of the social media giant Twitter. We all know that Mr. Parag Agarwal has been appointed as the new CEO of Twitter after the founder and former CEO Jack Dorsey stepped down from the position, right? तो आज की वीडियो में हम ना सिर्फ उनके बैकग्राउंड के बारे में, एजुकेशन के बारे में बात करेंगे, but we'll also talk about his role at Twitter. We'll also talk about the major responsibilities and challenges that he has to face. We'll also talk about some of his previous work experiences when he was working in Microsoft and AT&T. So we'll talk about a lot of those things. राइट तो अगर आपको ये सब चीज़ें जानने में इंटरेस्ट है तो ये वीडियो ज़रूर आखिर तक देखना, काफ़ी इन्फॉर्मेटिव होने वाला है एंड काफ़ी मोटिवेशनल होने वाला है. सो गाइस, इफ यू न्यू टू दिस चैनल देन डू लाइक द वीडियो, शेयर, कमेंट, सब्सक्राइब टू द चैनल. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive the latest notifications of my videos on time. So hey guys, so as I've previously told you that Jack Dorsey, the founder and the former CEO of Twitter, has actually stepped down from the position of CEO, and he mentioned that in his resignation letter that he tweeted on Twitter on the 29th of November. तो आप मेरे पीछे वो resignation letter वाला tweet देख सकते हो, in which he has mentioned that he's now stepping down, but he will still be in the board of the company, but now the position of the CEO will be taken by Mr. Parag Agarwal. So previously Parag Agarwal was at the position of CTO in Twitter for the past 4 years, and he has been highly credited for improving and involving the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning in Twitter, right? So now let's start by talking about his early life and his family background, right? So Mr. Parag Agarwal was actually born in Mumbai, right? The city of Mumbai in India. His father is a senior official at the Department of Atomic Energy in Mumbai, and his mother is also a retired school teacher. तो वो इतने अच्छे well educated family background से आते, so no doubt that he was very good in studies and he was very focused in studies, and he went on to study in some of the most prestigious institutions all across the world like IITs and Stanford. Now just a fun fact to tell you that he is also a childhood friend and was also a school classmate of a famous Indian singer Shreya Ghoshal. तो we can see on the screen कि काफी सारे tweets हैं उनके Shreya Ghoshal के and Parag Agarwal के, and which are almost 10 years old when Mr. Parag Agarwal was not even that famous and successful. Now in 2000 Parag Agarwal ने जो जॉइंट एंट्रेंस एग्जाम होती है JEE, जो कि सारे इंजीनियरिंग स्टूडेंट्स को देनी होती है टू गेट एडमिशन इनटू द इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस, सो ही क्लियर्ड दैट एग्जाम विद एन ऑल इंडिया रैंक ऑफ 77 एंड गॉट इनटू अ वेरी प्रेस्टिजियस इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग इन इंडिया, एंड दैट इज IIT Bombay. And later in 2005 he completed his BTech in computer science and engineering from IIT Bombay, and then went to the US to pursue the further studies. From 2005 to 2012, he completed his doctorate, his PhD at the Stanford University. So we all know that Parag Agarwal ने Twitter join किया था 2011 में, that is about 10 years ago. But let's have a look at his previous work experiences. So in 2006 he worked in the field of research for Microsoft. Then in 2007 to 2008 he worked in Yahoo. Then again he worked in Microsoft in 2009, and then he worked for about 4 months at AT&T Labs. And after that he joined Twitter in October of 2011, that is about 10 years ago. He joined Twitter in 2011 as a distinguished software engineer, and he worked in this position for about 6 years before Twitter actually made him the CTO of the company in 2017. So in October 2017, Twitter announced the appointment of Mr. Parag Agarwal as the new CTO following the departure of then CTO Adam Messenger. So now that we have talked about the early life of Parag Agarwal, we have looked at his education, we have looked at his work experience. Now let's have a look at some of the major challenges and issues that now he is responsible for, as he is now going to lead this $38 billion social media giant Twitter. वो बोलते हैं ना, विद ग्रेट पावर कम्स ग्रेट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज, एंड जैसे कि हम सबको पता है कि ट्विटर काफ़ी सारे पॉलिटिकल स्कफल्स एंड कंट्रोवर्सीज में इन्वॉल्व है, तो उसी के बारे में बात करेंगे अभी. So now the first challenge is that हम सबको पता है Jack Dorsey, the founder and the former CEO of Twitter, is actually a very famous billionaire celebrity founder, and he is very well known for his interests in music, cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, right? लेकिन Mr. Parag Agarwal is such a person that he has spent no time in limelight, तो उनके बारे में कोई ज़्यादा जानता नहीं था. He is a very unknown person, तो no one actually knew about Mr. Parag Agarwal. And Jack Dorsey, being a famous billionaire founder, was actually a big contributor to the Twitter, as he himself was a brand. Right now, taking the place of Jack Dorsey, now Mr. Parag Agarwal really needs to work hard to live up to that expectation and to live up to that reputation. Right now, the second challenge is that हम सबको पता है कि previously जो CEO थे वो Jack Dorsey थे, but let me tell you that Jack Dorsey was also the CEO of Twitter until 2008. लेकिन 2008 में one of the co-founders of Twitter actually removed Jack Dorsey from the post of CEO and made him the chairman, right? And उसके बाद में Jack Dorsey went on to start another company called Square. Now it is again a company which has a market cap of over 100 billion US dollars. And in 2015, Jack Dorsey again returned to Twitter as the CEO, right? लेकिन यहाँ पे इशू ये है कि इन अ सेकेंड टेन्योर एज द सीईओ ऑफ ट्विटर 2015 से लेकर अभी 2021 तक द कंपनी hasn't performed very well, right? The growth has been slow and steady, but it has been actually very slow compared to some of its major social media competitors. तो अगर आप देखोगे तो company has actually failed to match the growth or the stock returns of peers like some of the social media giants like Snapchat and Facebook, because if you see that since Jack Dorsey returned as the CEO in 2015, Twitter का stock सिर्फ 62% climb किया है, and the revenues have also just grown up 68% from 2015. But on the other hand, Meta, that is the parent company of Facebook, आप अगर उसके stocks देखोगे तो it has gained over 260% and the revenues have actually quadrupled. It has increased 4 times, right? So Twitter has actually failed to match the growth rate of its competitors under the second tenure of Jack Dorsey. Now the third big challenge that Twitter is facing and the new chief will actually inherit is that Twitter is involved into many political scuffles and काफ़ी सारा criticism उनको face करना पड़ा क्योंकि काफ़ी सारे political scuffles में involved है, right from the ban of the former US president Donald Trump, तो उनके permanent ban से लेके इंडिया में जो ruling party है BJP, उनसे भी काफ़ी सारा criticism Twitter को मिला है. So now let's talk about some of these challenges. So the first challenge, that speaking of Donald Trump, so Twitter actually has permanently blocked the account of the former US President Donald Trump, and जिसके चलते all the supporters of the Republican Party, जो कि Donald Trump के सारे supporters हैं, they are actually against Twitter. And in fact, Senator Josh Hawley, जो एक prominent Republican senator and supporter Donald Trump ने, उन्होंने ये तक कहा है कि Mr. Agarwal is a new tech robber baron who has even less respect for free speech than his predecessor. तो आप देख सकते हो कि definitely जो US में जो Republican के जो supporters है, Donald Trump के supporters है, they are actually not happy with the appointment of Mr. Parag Agarwal as the CEO of Twitter. Now coming on to the second political scuffle, and that is a political scuffle with the ruling party of India, BJP. तो उनसे भी काफ़ी resistance मिला है ट्विटर को, क्योंकि हम सबको पता है कि इंडिया में फार्मर्स प्रोटेस्ट चल रहा है काफ़ी समय से, एंड जिसके चलते ट्विटर के ऊपर काफ़ी सारा हेट स्पीच एंड काफ़ी सारी फेक न्यूज़ रूमर्स भी स्प्रेड हो रहे थे, काफ़ी सारे लोग हेट स्प्रेड कर रहे थे, एंड उसके लिए गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने एक्चुअली काफ़ी सारे नए लॉज एंड रूल्स इम्प्लीमेंट किए टू कर्ब these hate speech on social media platforms. So the government of India actually said that if these social media giants have to work in India, so they have to follow the law of the land. तो ट्विटर के कुछ भी टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस हो, बट दे हैव टू फॉलो द रूल्स दैट आर सेट बाय द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ दैट कंट्री. फार्मर्स प्रोटेस्ट के टाइम जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी है, बीजेपी है, दे वर फेसिंग अ लॉट ऑफ हेटरेड एंड अ लॉट ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस फ्रॉम द इंडियंस, राइट? तो ट्विटर के ऊपर काफी सारा हेट स्पीच स्प्रेड हो रहा था, जिसके चलते एक्चुअली ट्विटर वाज वन ऑफ द मेन प्लेटफॉर्म्स जिसके ऊपर लोग ट्वीट कर रहे थे, हेट स्प्रेड कर रहे थे, एंड ट्विटर हैड टू ब्लॉक अबाउट 250 अकाउंट्स उन लोगों के जो हेट स्प्रेड कर रहे थे. लेकिन just 6 hours later, Twitter actually removed that suspension, removed that blocking, because they said that there was just insufficient justification for continuing the suspension. And ये जो उन्होंने suspension हटाया है, उसके बाद में जो गवर्नमेंट है इंडिया की, they were actually not pleased, and they said that if Twitter doesn't block or delete these accounts, then the people who are working for Twitter in India, they will be sent to jail. They would be jailed for about 7 years, right? And उसी के चलते Twitter had to block around 500 accounts and also permanently delete some of them. And जैसे कि आप देख सकते हो कि इंडिया जैसी एक कंट्री जो ट्विटर के लिए थर्ड लार्जेस्ट मार्केट है बिकॉज इंडिया कंट्रीब्यूट्स ओवर 24.45 मिलियन यूजर्स टू द ट्विटर। तो अगर इतने बड़ी कंट्री के रूलिंग पार्टी से, गवर्नमेंट से अगर बैकलैश आ रहा है, सो इट इज अ वेरी बिग चैलेंज फॉर ट्विटर टू सॉल्व, राइट? नाउ द फिफ्थ एंड द बिग चैलेंज इज दैट नाउ दैट मिस्टर अग्रवाल हैज टेकन ओवर द कंपनी, ही रियली हैज टू लिव अप टू एक्सपेक्टेशंस एंड द कमिटमेंट्स दैट ट्विटर हैज मेड। क्योंकि फरवरी 2021 में ट्विटर ने अनाउंस किया था दैट इट गोल्स टू डबल द रेवेन्यू ऑफ द कंपनी by 2023 and also it goals to grow its user base by about 20% year on year for the next 3 years. Now this is again a very big challenge, right? क्योंकि अगर आप ट्विटर के पास देखोगे तो ट्विटर के जो काउंटर पार्ट्स है, जो टेक कंपनीज है, they have actually posted triple digit gains, right? जबकि ट्विटर सिर्फ 62 और 68% ग्रो कर पाया है। If you look at Apple, the stocks have surged over 450%. Amazon, it has rallied more than 580%. Alphabet, the parent company of Google, उनके stocks have climbed about 345%. and Microsoft के जो stocks they have skyrocketed about 640%. लेकिन ट्विटर के जो stocks है they have just gone up 62% in the past 6 years and that is a very slow growth. Now अगर आप यहाँ पे देखोगे तो the main reason behind Twitter's slow growth is ट्विटर काफ़ी एक conventional platform बन गया है because it implements new features and new products very slowly, right? तो अगर आप देखोगे तो ट्विटर के ऊपर ज़्यादा मिलेनियल्स या जेन जी या यंग जनरेशन नहीं है, राइट? ट्विटर इज मोस्टली यूज्ड बाय वर्ल्ड लीडर्स, पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स या जो भी मतलब बड़े बड़े स्टार्स होते हैं। द यंग मिलेनियल्स, द यंग जेन जीज आर नॉट एक्चुअली यूजिंग बिकॉज ट्विटर हैज बीन वेरी स्लो इन इम्प्लीमेंटिंग न्यू फीचर्स, न्यू प्रोडक्ट्स, अनलाइक स्नैपचैट दैट हैज बीन वेरी क्विक इन इम्प्लीमेंटिंग ऑल ऑफ दोज फीचर्स दैट मेक्स द प्लेटफॉर्म एक्चुअली इंटरेस्टिंग, राइट? तो ना अगर ट्विटर को कॉम्पिटिटिव रहना है एंड अगर उनका यूजर बेस इंक्रीज करना है तो मिस्टर अग्रवाल मे नीड टू चेंज द कंपनीज कल्चर विच इज एक्चुअली वेरी डिफिकल्ट एट दिस लार्ज बिगर स्केल एंड ही ऑल्सो हैज टू इम्प्लीमेंट न्यू प्रोडक्ट्स एंड स्ट्रेटजीज एट अ मच क्विकर पेस। जो पहले हो रहा था उससे भी काफ़ी तेज़ी से अभी नए प्रोडक्ट्स, स्ट्रेटजीज और फीचर्स उनको इम्प्लीमेंट करने पड़ेंगे। सो नाउ लेट्स हैव अ लुक एट सम ऑफ द अदर इंडियन ओरिजिन CEOs who are leading now one of the largest companies in the world. तो सत्य नडेला एंड सुंदर पिचाई, the CEOs of Microsoft and Alphabet respectively, हम सबको पता है कि they are very well known, right, to lead those American giants. लेकिन उसी के साथ साथ आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हो कि there are quite a few people who are leading Adobe, IBM, Micron, Palo Alto Networks, VMware, Twitter, NetApp, Flex, Vimeo, right? And now Mr. Parag Agarwal is the new addition because now he's the Twitter and the chief of this $38 billion social media giant. Twitter. So guys, that's it for today's video. I hope आपको काफ़ी सारी information मिली होगी now that we have understood what are the positives and negatives of gaining this big position as the CEO of such a large organization. I hope आपको सारे perspectives clear हो गए होंगे and just let me tell you that okay, we feel happy that these are the people of Indian origin, but let me tell you that these are just the people of Indian origin. They are no more Indians because they don't hold an Indian passport and I feel India काफ़ी समय से brain drain experience कर रहा है। The brightest of the minds of India are actually leaving the country to work for some other company in some other countries, right? So we celebrate these Indian origin CEOs for gaining these top leadership positions in these global companies, but on the other hand we also need to encourage the entrepreneurship of Indians in the Indian land itself so that India also grows, right? So guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you liked the video. तो अगर आपको और entrepreneurship, startup और business से content चाहिए तो आप जाके मेरा चैनल चेकआउट कर सकते हो. If you want some other topics, you can comment down in the comment section below. So guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you liked the video. If you liked the video, then do like the video, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive the latest notifications of my videos on time. So I'll see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Take care. Thank you.